Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to another episode here of Banish the Doubt. In this episode, I want to talk about seeing yourself. How do you see yourself? Because that is going to determine exactly what it is that you're going to get from your reality, your life. You've heard me say in previous episodes where your reality is nothing more than the outpicturing of all of your inner thoughts, how you talk to yourself. In this episode, I'm going to talk about how do you see yourself? What do you see? Can you see yourself succeeding or doing whatever it is that you want to do to be in the relationship that you want to be in, to having the position at your job or maybe owning your own company, your own business? Can you see that? Because that is ultimately what determines how your life manifests from this point on. Because everything in your life right now is an unconscious seeing of how you see yourself. Your world and all those in it are nothing more than a representation of how you see yourself. So, and again, talking about this as primarily to this point in your life, unconsciously. So I guess about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, a friend of mine recommended I go talk to a medium. Now, I had some thoughts or some opinions of mediums, but I decided to put that aside, excuse me, and say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go talk to this lady. Never met her before that day and have never seen her since. So I made the appointment and I went to her house and then we went into like a little study area of hers, a little office. And she had all her different books laid out. And she said to me, as she looked into her books, and I forget she maybe asked me a question or two, she said, I see you on stage. I said, really? I'm looking, she's looking at her books and different things. And she says, yeah, I see you on stage. I think she may have asked me something about my birthday or what have you. But since I've been doing more research into this self awareness and this being much more introspective, I'm believing now that there are people out there who can see what is inside of us that we can't see or we don't see. And oftentimes it's because this life of ours has us in a way where we don't take time to really just think about this. It's early, almost mid-November. I would like you to think of back when it was New Year's Eve of this year. Think of what you had aspired to and have you attained those goals or what you have aspired to until this point, and how often this year have you carved out time and said, okay, I'm going to sit, I'm going to go into a room by myself or whatever it may be, and I'm just going to close my eyes and I'm just going to allow myself to just be. That's it. I'm going to see what comes up. And I'm just going to relax and just not, even if I fall asleep, fine, whatever. But how many times this year have you done that? Have you taken yourself away from, think about this. There's a reason why, right? We call it the rat race. Think about that. As we were growing up, we were around people, TV, what have you, that referred to this life of ours as a rat race, right? So those impressions get put into our subconscious that we have to work hard, we have to struggle, right? If you're not struggling, if you're not working hard, then somehow or the success is not worthy. You're not worthy of true success if you're not burning the candle, the midnight oil, right? We hear these things. Super successful, what we refer to as successful people, we hear things like, oh, they work, 12, 14, 16 hours a day. So for some, they say, well, that's how I'm going to become successful. For others, we repel from that. And oftentimes it's because maybe we had a parent or parents who weren't around because they were working so many hours. And maybe we felt guilty if we had asked them or said, hey, I want you to spend more time with me. We lose our voice. So we lose our voice, we lose this identity. And then one day we agree to go see a medium, and the medium says, hey, I see you doing something that is so far back into the recesses of our mind that we don't see it. It's there, but we don't see it. Perhaps this is the stage making these videos, and you're the audience that she was referring to. Okay, so I want to continue here with these quotes that I have. This is from an old videos that I made. Not sure how far back they go, but it says, our conditioned blocks. Okay? One of the blocks, or our collective unconscious, our conditioned blocks, our collective unconscious. So one of the blocks to becoming acquainted with the fears and doubts in one's own mind is the fear or the doubts of the opinions of others. How often in our life were we conditioned by those who raised us, these our caregivers, to worry about or concern ourselves with what they think of us, what they say, right? Think about your own family, whether opinions of your own family members, your parents, grandparents, that if you decided to take another path in life, that you're going to be shunned, maybe disowned by your family, that this is the way we do things. We're whatever your last name is, and these um, enculturation, right? What nationality are you? Well, I'm here to tell you, you are not a nationality. You are not your last name. You are a spiritual being having this human existence. This body of ours, I refer to it as, and I've heard others say, it's more of a virtual reality suit. And who we are, okay, that person on stage, is who we were sent here to be. So think about that for a second. How many times in your life have you been led by the opinions of others? I heard Wayne Dyer talked about a gentleman who said when you want to get to a point in life, okay, you want to elevate yourself to a point in life where you are not swayed by the good opinions of others. So we see this as opinion of others, we think negative. You want to get to a point in life where others are cheering for you or what have you, and that's fine, but you're not led by. Or how many celebrities have we heard? I remember reading about there was a boxer back in the 80s. Some of you may remember the name Sugar Ray Leonard. He was a middleweight, I think it was lightweight or middleweight, phenomenal boxer, and he was going blind in his eye, one of the eyes, and he wanted to make this triumphant return back to the ring. I think one more boxing match or something, and his doctors told him, if you do, you're most likely going to end up blind in the eye. But here's what he said, why he was doing it. He said, I missed the cheers from the crowds. I needed that. It's like a drug. So again, the opinions of others, the wanting of their approval. This goes right back to how were we raised. See, I can tell you my own personal story. I grew up and I wanted to get into landscaping. I liked it, but it was a way for me to be connected more closer to my father. My other brother, he ended up going into the service. He also became a drinker, became an alcoholic. That's how our father was. how he dealt with the opinions of others, how he dealt with his life was he drank. And again, enculturation. We are Irish. A lot of that enculturation came from this is how you dealt with issues. You drank, drink it away, have a couple pops. At my job yesterday, I heard the owner of the company came over to talk to us. Real nice guy, but he mentioned Friday he got pulled over, and we all thought, oh, geez, he got pulled over. And he kind of humorously laughed it off. He said, "Yeah, I was at a Benihana restaurant with my family." Now think of this, with his family. He said, "I was three sakis in." Now think about that for a second. He's with his family and he's drinking and he's going to get behind the wheel of a car. What type of messaging is that for his children, right? This is how you're allowed. You can go ahead, you can drink, and they get behind it and then operate. I mean, this vehicle he has is tremendous, a huge Cadillac Escalator, whatever. It's a tremendous, like a tank. And then he gets pulled over. Now he has a gold shield. He said he gives the information, his IDs to the cop, and there's a gold shield, basically telling the cop, "Hey, listen, let me go because I got the shield." But you see, it's the opinions of others. It's how you live your life. It's the enculturation. This is how you deal with life. You are entitled because you have a gold shield to drink, have a buzz. Three sakis, I'm sure he had a buzz, and get behind the wheel of a car. But I'm sure if his child did the same thing, he probably would be upset. And they would have every right to say to him, "Hey, listen, why is it okay for you? Double standard, right? But it's not okay for me." This is what I'm talking about. This is going back, like I talked about a few minutes ago, our inability to sit quietly and just lower the temperature and say, okay, what is really going on in my life? How am I leading? What is it that I really want to be? Who is it what I really like to be? Drinking alcohol is a drug, just like any other drug. The difference, though, is that this drug is encouraged in our society. It is, hey, you deserve a couple pops. You worked hard. It is, hey, go to the football game. Starts at 1 o'clock. It's okay. You can get to the stadium by 10:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, and sit and drink for 3 hours, and then go and watch the game. It's tailgating. This is America, right? This is how we live our life. This is encouraged. But don't get behind the wheel of a car. And if you do, we're going to pull you over. But if you have a gold star, hey, we'll let you go, unless God forbid you killed somebody or what have you. It was really bad. Okay, so let me continue here. Where are we at here? So the wanting of their approval goes inside of our minds, wanting of their approval, okay? In a constant fantasy. We identify with the opinions of others, including authority figures, right? So now we get into this. Well, I got a guy, right? Don't worry, I got a guy. I'm like the boss. Don't worry, I got it in with the cops. We'll get you off. We see it playing out all the time. We say, okay, well, if they like me, if this authority figure approves of me, then I'm elevated in status. The only opinion, the only approval you need is the approval of yourself. Is when you look in the mirror, you tell that person, hey, I love you. And you tell you your name. You look in the mirror, say your name. I love you. How often have you done that in your life? How many times, right, has society encouraged us to do this? I approve of you. You're worthy. You are deserving and worthy of all great success in this world, whatever it is you want to do. Now, I'm talking to you right now in this video as if you were talking to yourself in the mirror. You are deserving of, you are worthy of, you are confident. You can be in a room full of people and be very relaxed because you know who you are. You're that person on stage. Whatever it is, you are confident and you are enough. You are deserving. You are worthy. These are the kind of things, okay? So these authority figures. So we identify with the opinions of others, including authority figures, and coalesce this. We coalesce this in such a way we hear it as our own opinions of ourselves. Let me say that part again, okay? So the wanting of their approval, others, goes on inside of our minds in a constant fantasy. Remember, we are spiritual beings having this human existence. So this, oh, they like me, is a fantasy. We identify with the opinions of others, including authority figures, and coalesce this in such a way that we hear it in our minds. We hear it in our minds as our own opinions of ourselves. So we say, oh, well, if they like me, then I must be enough. But it's them, it's outside. We're constantly looking externally to how we feel about ourselves. It's a very powerful quote. So these feelings that we get, okay, this quote I have here comes from the book Power of Awareness. Okay, so every feeling that we get leaves a subconscious impression. Okay, and unless it is counteracted by a more powerful feeling of an opposite nature, it must be expressed. Feelings of yourself, feelings that you have of yourself must be expressed, no matter what it is. Okay. The dominant of two feelings is the one expressed. I am healthy is a stronger feeling than I will be healthy. To feel I will be is to confess I am not. I am is stronger than I am not. What you feel you are always what you feel you are always dominates what you feel you would like to be. So when we sit alone, we see ourselves, we tell ourselves, I am that, whatever I want to be, or I am it now. I am not going to be something. I am it now. I am enough. I am competent. This is how we see ourselves. The way you see yourself always plays out in your world. So how are you going to see yourself today? Thank you guys so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you like any help in this area, feel free to click on my link in my channel, and I would be honored to work with you. Make it a great day.